to eat meat. There are certain types of meat that you can eat, and the Bible talks about clean and unclean meats, and it's all found in the book of Leviticus if you like to check it up for us. Otherwise, it is not entirely correct that the SDA Church are vegetarians.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. A question was just handed to me, and it says, what is it like to know that there are hundreds of people, perhaps more, that are fans of Pitcairn, and some right here at PUC, Pacific Union College? Is it an enlightening feeling? Is it a comforting feeling to know that there are people who feel like family to you, who are not necessarily? You like having fans?
Well, I guess it means that we're not forgotten.
Yes, true, true. Well, that's, you know, the expression, you don't call, you don't write. Well, we're calling and we're writing. Somebody else wanted to know about the medical facilities on the island and treatment for serious problems. How do you handle that, Mike?
Well, the best way to deal with those sorts of things is to stay healthy. But if you manage to find yourself getting sick, we have a medical clinic here with a doctor. A doctor is stationed here for about 12 months. And if you need to get serious medical situations dealt with, then we need to find a way to get you off the island. And that could be a bit of a, you know, some difficulty at times. And but that's how we tend to deal with a medical situation here. But the 12 months stationing of a doctor does give the islanders a bit of reassurance in relation to health.
Mm-hmm. And for serious problems, you try to get people off island? You try to get them off island? Okay, and what method do you use? How does that happen?
Well, so far, the only method that is available to us is by sea. We used to medevac people of passing ships, but those ships aren't passing Pitcairn like they used to, and so that is a bit of a challenge. We have signed up with an agreement with the French Polynesian authorities, and if it's a very serious situation, then they do send up one of their Navy ships.
Okay, thank you. Do you see a young man back there who must be a little bit homesick? DB.
Well, he hasn't changed.
He was just waving like crazy. Paul. Paul is there? Okay, Tony says, I will see you on your birthday. How do you like that? Okay.
Hey, Tony.
Okay, that's a message from Tony.
Just got Paul coming up.
Okay, hey.
How you all doing? Hello, everyone.
We're doing great. Great to see you. Look at that necklace. Boy, Neiman Marcus would have a field day with that. Okay, when's your birthday, Paul? Paul, when's your birthday?
April.
April. Tony,
Yep.
You're planning to be there in April? I am. Okay, get ready for a party. Have everybody start baking that cake right now.
Yep.
Okay.
Good to see everybody. Okay. I'm out of here.
Okay. Thank you. Now that Tony's coming back to Pitcairn, people want to know how many tourists and visitors generally visit Pitcairn at any one time.
Well, it tends to vary on that. We're trying to encourage more tourists to come to Pitcairn. I'll have to check on the statistics on that. But I think that at any one time, if they do travel on the supply ship, there's room for up to about 12 tourists at a time. So all of you guys there sitting in the room, we encourage all of you guys to come. Not all at once, of course.
Okay. I don't know why not. We could have our next Bounty-Pitcairn conference on Pitcairn. And they all, yes, doesn't that sound like a good idea? And then they want to know where do the tourists stay?
Well, currently, most tourists, we've got homestay facilities. You stay with in a home. Somebody would provide you with bed and breakfast. There's I think three homes or two or three houses which are available for rent. Otherwise, it's mostly homestay.
Okay. Now, when I was there was Thursday's home, and it didn't look like it was ready for visitors. I assume that everything has been corrected. Do you remember
well, unfortunately, this Christian's home is no longer there. There's some rocks that...
I'm just teasing, I know that.
I know you.
Okay, this is a philosophic question. This is serious. What are your hopes and dreams for the future of Pitcairn and its community? What do you hope for?
Tell me to pull the hairs out of my head.
Well, you have a whole room full of people to draw on. So, what do you think, Mike? What would you say?
Well, you know, I believe that whatever you want is possible, and most of the folks sitting in the room here probably don't know what my dreams are, so they'll find out pretty soon. My dreams is for Pitcairn to survive. I know this is a challenge because the population is growing older, and so am I and everybody else, and there's hardly any younger people growing up to take over. I believe that we can do it, and one of the things that we're trying to do at the moment is to put together a repopulation policy, and hopefully this would encourage people to come to Pitcairn and hopefully to stay.
Okay, where is the project aimed at to repopulate? Where do you hope to get these new people to live on Pitcairn? From New Zealand, Australia, worldwide, as a haven for refugees who are leaving some oppressed nation? What do you intend to draw on?
Well, we're hoping to draw people who have particular skill sets. We're not saying that we're excluding everybody else, but we're hoping to draw, key people that we would like on the island, such as lawyers and engineers and electricians and a whole, swag of skill sets. But this doesn't mean that we're excluding anybody, and in particular, we would like to encourage our own people to consider moving back here. And so, Pitcairn is here if you want to come. You're welcome.
They're welcoming you back home again. What are your concerns and fears as related to the future of Pitcairn?
Well, I personally don't have any fears at all. You can concentrate on the negative aspects. I'm not doing that. I believe that it's all positive. I believe we can do it if we want to. And it's up to the people if they want this place to survive. It is possible. I believe that.
Okay, good. Now a very down-to-earth question. How is electricity generated now?
Well, it's still generated by diesel power. We've actually increased the number of hours per day from 10 hours to 14 hours. And we've seen a significant improvement in terms of fridges and freezers. The food in there is lasting a lot longer. And so that's one of the positive things about electricity. But we are looking at solar power. This is one of the projects that the British government is looking at. And I know we've been talking about this for a number of years, but this is one of the things we're looking at is solar energy for the future.
Okay. On the same subject, are there limitations on the number and type of appliances that can be used?
Well, there is a limit on instant water heaters because the power the generators that we've got here, of course, they are limited, and of course, if we do get bigger generators here, they will cost more to run, more fuel costs, so we do have a limit on that. But apart from that, there hasn't been any significant problems in folks loading down the generators, so really, to answer that question, it's not really any limits at this present time.
Okay, great. And here is something that is for those who do the crafts. Are you going to make any more trick boxes in the future?
I'm going to have to throw this question out to the audience.
Okay, that's great.
Oh, I'm told that there's someone making one right now, so place your orders.
Do you hear that? Okay. We'll stay right on top of that. Another question, very interesting. Can you tell us something about how history is remembered on Pitcairn? Particularly topics like Bligh, the mutiny. How is it taught to the children? How is it passed down generation to generation? And how is it remembered?
Well, you know, personally, I didn't grow up being at all interested in Pitcairn's history, which is very sad, and it's only recently that I sort of taken up to learning history. And I'm not quite too sure, and I know that the audience in the room here might shoot me down at this, but I'm not too sure if we, in a general case, are interested in history at all. What do you think?
Yes, we are.
I'm told that this is wrong, but you know,
I don't know. You're right.
I think generally we weren't interested in history in a general sense. I'm not saying that this is true of all. You know, there are some that's very interested in history, but personally, I've only taken up an interest in history in the last 2 years or so, but you know, I'm only speaking for myself. You know, I have to let others speak on that.
Okay, so it's not established whether you believe in passing this history down generation to generation.
Oh, well, I do actually believe in passing it down to, and I know Meralda will speak on this tomorrow, and I know that she's a great advocate towards, you know, promoting the history of Pitcairn, and which I support. And I know that there are others within the community who've taken up interest in history as well for Pitcairn. Okay.
One of the things I asked you, particularly topics like Bligh and the mutiny, we have a very dear member of the Pitcairn Island Study Group in the UK study group, who is Maurice Bligh, and he's of course a descendant from Captain Bligh, and he's you know, a very dear friend of Pitcairn's, and you know, after 250 years, let bygones be bygones. Is it the same feeling? There's no enmity about the situation, the mutiny situation?
Well, personally, I do not believe in holding grudges against anyone. You know, this took place over 200 years ago, and you know, if we can't get over it 200 years later, then we've got a problem. So I don't see any problem with the blind Christian.
I agree. Very good, very good. Like the kids say today, get over it. Okay. Another question. How frequently does the Claymore 2 visit Pitcairn?
Well, it makes 4 trips from New Zealand every year, annually. It makes 4 trips from New Zealand. And then in between times, it makes at least 2 trips between Pitcairn and Mangareva. And it is those 2 trips in particular that most people choose to travel to Pitcairn on, unless you would like to spend 14 days or so traveling from New Zealand to Pitcairn.
Okay, and do you happen to know the cost for a round-trip fare?
Yes, I do, actually. The round-trip cost for tourists, I believe it's, now let me think, it's 4,000 New Zealand dollars, I understand.
For a round-trip fare. And now, is that from Mangareva or from New Zealand?
This is from Mangareva to Pitcairn and back again, so that's a round trip.
Okay, all right. Now, we spoke before about how visitors are lodged on Pitcairn and their private homes that they stay in, and you said it's usually bed and breakfast. Well, where might they eat otherwise? Did I?
Well, it's a bed, breakfast, lunch, and you get breakfast, lunch, dinner, and laundry. And I know most folks would tend to take you out for tours and walkabouts and things like that. So you get all that thrown in. So it's basically a full. You get the full works.
Well, you just wait a minute. I'm going over to pack and come and visit you. How is the island making progress in adopting wind energy?
Well, we have decided to review this and to have a look at the, as I mentioned earlier, solar energy, because
Okay.
the cost of producing energy from solar power appears to be competitive nowadays with wind energy. So we've decided not to go ahead with wind energy at this stage.
Okay. And what is the best time of year to visit Pitcairn?
Any time of the year, we've got an open arm, but if you're looking in terms of the weather, I would suggest around, December, where it's nice and warm. And this time of the year, you do get the wind, and the weather gets a bit rough, but still a pleasant day today. But any time of the year, but mostly in summertime, I would recommend.
Okay, that's good. Now, somebody wrote this question. I think it's very interesting. I believe Pitcairn brings many goods ashore in small shipping containers. If that is so, Pitcairn's sister island does not have that method. Would you be willing to offer advice to Norfolk Island on that operation? It works for you. Do you think it would work for them?
We might be able to come over to the Norfolk and show them how it's done. Any Norfolk Islanders there?
Okay. And by the way, when this question was handed to me, it said, "To Cookie" from Ron Edwards. And I said, "Cookie? Who's Cookie?" And he said, "Mike. If you refer to him as Mike, he's not even going to answer, but you call him Cookie and he knows who he is." Correct? Great name.
Well,
I love it.
Hey, yeah, hey Ron. Yes, that is correct. Sometimes I get this name Cookie used in official emails as well from officials from the UK, and I'm left wondering, well, even they use my nickname as well, Cookie.
Okay. Ron is planning to move to Norfolk with his wife. They're building a home there now. And I think that's especially why he wanted to know if container goods could be shipped there and unloaded there. Great idea. And Leslie explained to us before that is done now, and it's a marvelous idea. Saves a lot of, he said saves a bag of flour being ripped open and falling into the sea on its way to Pitcairn. Any thoughts on how the population on Pitcairn can be and still maintain a sustainable community? Other than repopulating the island, as you mentioned before, anything else that you can think of? And please ask, feel free to ask your assemblage there if they have any ideas of how a sustainable community can stay.
Let me turn to them and see if they've got any ideas. Any thoughts?
I mean, you mentioned something before with solar energy. Great idea for a place that has, sunshine a good part of the year. No other,
I'm hearing
thoughts?
some from the background.
Okay. And quite a number of people said, what is the current number of people living on Pitcairn? Okay, sure.
Like, guess. Can somebody guess?
Okay.
56 at the moment. Last count, it's about 56.
56. Okay. That's, boy, it's better than when I was there. That's great.
Yeah, so who won the prize?
Okay. And how many under 30 years of age? Besides you, of course. Now. Oh, did you hear that? How many under 30 years of age are living on the island?
I hear in the side of my ears that there's about three.
It's two and one in their room.
Okay, 2?
Yeah. There's 2 or 3 plus the children.
Okay. All right. And most of the children go off island for higher education?
I didn't get that. I think you asked about the children, most of the children probably going off the island, I think.
Yes, do most of the children go off island for their higher education? I mean, I know you have a wonderful school there, but for high school, college, do they go off island?
Yeah, that is correct. We've got Ralph Pugh. He's gone off to New Zealand. He left 2-3 months ago, I think, on the Claymore. And I understand he's fitting in quite nicely in New Zealand.
That's great. That's very nice. We're going to do a little bit of question and answer with the people in the audience. However, they're going to come up to me first if they have something to say, and then we'll get right back to you. So if you have something you want to say to the Pitcairners, please come here. Come on up. Oh, yeah, Tony is coming out of his shell, and he's going to say something. Okay. Okay, people are coming here, and Margaret, come next. How are you? I'm good, thank you. Face the camera so they can see you and talk into the mic. Margaret, here, do you have...
Are we talking to who?
You're talking to everybody on the island.
We would like to say hello to Daphne and Keen, and they recently just left the U.S. back to the island. What way y'all wasn't y'all doing, and wasn't y'all can cook for our weckle and our dinner mola. We got Alan here too. Y'all all look good, and we'll catch up with y'all all later. Hooray!
Thank you, Margaret. Okay, here's Marie.
Hello, Sis, and Ken, and Paul. I'm gonna cry. Wish you were here. Love you all. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Marie wishes you were here, and we wish we were there. Come on, Jackie.
Hello, all y'all. So good to see y'all today. And hi, Dylan and Caleb. I can hear you. Really good for see y'all. Everybody really enjoying it, yeah? But sounds like I'm not going to need to do my talk tomorrow because all the questions say, oh, I see y'all, I mean answer tomorrow. So we catch y'all later.
Jack, you're doing just swell. You're still right there.
Thank you, Jack. Come on, Melva.
I cough with you.
I'll see y'all in about 3 weeks. Okay?
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. See ya.
Yeah.
Okay. And guess who just showed up on our shores? Yesterday, we were so excited to hear that he's here. Here's Stevie.
Hello, what the way? Good to see you all. Well, I not know. Hi.
Make sure you bring our good gal along for you.
What's that?
What's this?
Yeah, I got plenty of ya. All right. Well, we catch you all it. All right, hurry.
Hey, for you know I'm in fetch down, so we'll see it.
Well, cause no, yeah.
Cause he got too much yet.
Tom, come
Hi, Jack. Good to see you.
Hello, I'd like to say hello to Tom and Betty. This is Tom Nagel from Fargo, North Dakota. I hope you remember me. I made it to the conference, and I just was in Southern California visiting my daughter Julie, who was with me when I was on the island, and about a year ago she had my first grandchild. So I was down visiting them, and I hope to return to Pitcairn within the next couple of years. I'm trying to convince my wife.
Oh, well, thanks, Tom. We look forward to seeing you back. That would be great. And we have fond memories of a hot air balloon ride with you and the helicopter ride, so we sure haven't forgotten.
Well, I'd like to be the first one in the world to fly a balloon on Pitcairn, but I'm not sure how that's going to work. I'll be back in the next couple of years.
Great news.
thank you. Okay, anybody else from the audience before I ask my next question of them? Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Steve has something to say. And I bet I know who he's going to talk to.
Nola.
Of course.
Hi, is Nola there? Is Nola in the audience?
Yeah.
Hi, Nola. This is Steve. How are you?
Fine.
Is Reynolds there?
No, he's not.
Oh, well, you tell him I said hello, too. We miss you guys. Everybody here knows who you are. They miss you. Thanks.
Thank you, Nola. Oh, and Herb Ford.
Cookie, do I see Mavis there?
No, she's, if we turn the laptop around the other way, you'll see her down in the garden. But she sends her love.
She's there, but she's not in the camera range.
I just wanted to ask Mavis if I come back, will she wash my clothes again?
I'm sure she will. Well, I'll take over her, but Rhoda here.
We love you, Mavis. We're glad you had a nice birthday. Bye-bye.
Now, one thing that everybody wanted to know is to please explain to us a typical day, particularly yours, Mike, on Pitcairn, because we're going to speak to Meralda tomorrow, and we're going to talk to her about a typical day, which will probably go in a little different direction than yours. So could you explain to us how your day goes, what you do when you get up, and how you conduct your day?
Okay, this is interesting. First thing I do is I try and get out of bed, as most folks do.
Always a good idea.
And being the mayor, I have an office which I attend to mostly 3 times a week. So I would attend that sometimes 3-4 hours, maybe 5 hours a day, 3 times a week. And then I'm also working in the engineering department, mechanical engineering department. And so sometimes maybe for the rest of the day, remainder of the day, I work in that. And I'm not much of a gardener, as most folks would agree with. So, but I do like to spend some time outdoors and mowing the lawn. And a typical day may be getting firewood and mowing the lawns and just keeping the island going.
And how many times a year does the a supply ship come that you have to go down and help unload?
Well, I mentioned this earlier. A supply ship arrives about 4 times every year from New Zealand. And as I think I mentioned earlier, it's arriving this Thursday morning.
Yeah.
So,
okay, and everybody goes down there to help with the effort? Now, how do you get the containers up to the top? That hill of difficulty was very difficult for me. And those containers weigh a lot more than I do. How do they get up there?
Well, we've got machinery now that can handle those containers. I'm not sure whether the road was concreted when you were last here, but the road is concreted now, and we've got machinery, a Caterpillar loader that brings it up the hill. The way it works is that we've got a boat crew. They go out to the Claymore, unload the cargo, bring it out ashore. We've got a shore team that handles all that out on the dockside, and the loader brings the cargo up to the edge or at the local store, and we've got a team of people at those 2 places that would unload the containers and tend to sort things from there. So we've got people all over the place organising the unloading of the supply ship. It's not everybody down at the landing, it's in various places on the island.
Okay. How many cruise ships are you expecting this coming year?
Well, if I close my window, I check my files, I think it's, I've got a file on my computer, I think it's about, what is it? It's about 8 or 9, I think. Well, I can confirm that for you tomorrow, if you like.
Okay, please, yes, we'd like to know that. And of the ships that are coming, how many are likely to land at Pitcairn rather than just having the Pitcairners coming on board the ship?
Well, the smaller cruise ships, the ones that would carry about 120, 130 people, they have their own zodiacs, and those are almost guaranteed landing, almost, I say. Whereas the larger cruise ships, it's very much dependent upon the weather, both at the dockside and out at sea alongside the ship. So the larger cruise ships, you can't always guarantee folks will get ashore from those. So if that's not the case, then we come out to meet them.
Okay. Well, I think we've had a wonderful visit with you. One more question.
Somebody in the back. Who's there in the background with the hands up in the air?
What's going to happen now, we have some people who want to sing goodbye to you. So we will end this session. Come on, Marie. Oh, one question. Jost, okay. Okay.
At first I want to say, I think I see Miss Andrews at the end. Is it Miss Andrews over there? From the Sound of Music is the other George.
Yeah, Julie Andrews.
I have been to the Pitcairn Island in 2007, and I wanted to come again, but I need a permit. Because I want to take my whole family.
In the mic.
Oh, didn't you see? Sorry.
Yeah, in the mic.
In 2007, I have been to the island. I had a terrific holiday. I met some nice people. I told the community I want to come back as soon as possible, but with my whole family. Until now, I didn't get any permit. And I want to ask you if you already know if the British government or the government in New Zealand changed their mind.
I don't think we can deal with any of those political issues and visa issues now. No, I understand that, but here we're...
Basically, to answer your question in this regard, there is still child restrictions on, so I won't go into all the politics in relation to that. I know it's controversial, so we'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
I want to know, is there any progress?
Just keep trying, yes.
I've just been told that just to keep trying and best of luck.
Okay. All right. We have a wonderful ending to this conversation. Just wait just a second. And come on. Over here. Okay. Just a moment.
Y'all are going to be in for a big surprise because we call what away, but y'all could help us sing.
Yeah, I mean, Tom, we need y'all if you sing, because some of us feel where we hardly all talk.
Hello.
Yes.
1, 2, 3.
Hey, Leslie, sing.
That song will sing. Goodbye, goodbye. Time moves on rapid wings. Goodbye. And this short year will soon be past. Will soon be numbered with the last. But as we part to all will sing. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. But as we part to all will sing. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.
God bless you all and be well.
Now you all sing for us.
Maurice, you sing our next verse.
You all
We'll
sing
sing
it.
our next verse. Maria.
You all sing it for us. We could sing it if you want.
No.
We all sing together.
Okay, that's even better.
You all sing, I'll play.
See ya.
Where's that?
Where's it done?
We gather now to say goodbye, goodbye. We can no longer say goodbye. Thanks for your loving, constant care and kindness that we share. We part but hope to meet again. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. We part but hope to meet again. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, God bless you one and all. Goodbye, God bless you one and all. Goodbye, God bless you one and all.
Goodbye, you dear people. We look forward to chatting with you tomorrow with Meralda. And we're thinking of you every minute. Bye-bye.
Bye. Goodbye. Michael. I say it's Chris Johnson there. John Connor.
Hi,
John.
What?
Chris Johnson. Oh, we talked to.
That's it.
Oh, okay.
Come on, John.
Hey, John. It's Chris Johnson there?
Mike Huntley?
Hi,
Chris.
Yes, she is.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
See you tomorrow.
Lovely to see you. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.